anyway.
Financing.
The finance department needs to know about it, so that we schedule people to work, that we can contact whoever they contact for money. So, what's the first big benefit of budgeting? It compels managers to communicate and coordinate their, and we say actions, but actions is what comes from your decisions. When I make a decision, there's action, something happens. So if we have a formal budgeting process, managers are forced to communicate and coordinate their actions with each other. The next big benefit of budgeting, it's a commitment of resources to the manager. Once we have agreed on this budget, GE, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, once we've agreed on the budget, let's just go down to labor. Let's scroll down to labor. Here it is. Here's our materials. Here's our labor. Remember that the algebra, the number of units being sold, is driving everything. So once I know the units being sold, I know the number of hours, total wages, the hourly wage rate. I know my production budget. I know my hours. I know the hours that's going to be needed. I know the various, only 2 skill levels here, keeping it simple. I know the various requirements of employees to get this production done. So once the budget's approved, it's a commitment of resources. Siemens, Lockheed Martin is committing to me, I'm responsible for labor, that I can recruit these people and I can pay them these wage rates. That's been approved. And it's approved for the 12 months. And if there's going to be a union negotiation and wages are going to go up, you need to show what the wage rate you think you're going to be paying. It's a commitment of resources.
Oh, I was just gonna say, how you were saying everything comes from the sales. That's why it's like such a good common denominator. I feel like when you're looking at percentage differences for everything.
That's why I took these exhibits, put them in the spreadsheet, and put all the algebra behind all of these cells. And where does all the algebra start? Where does it all start? It starts with the marketing projection. I change these numbers here, and what's going to happen all the way down? Everything's going to change. Okay? Communicate, coordinate, a commitment of resources. The third big benefit, well, we're talking about planning. What's the other word that goes with planning?
Organizing, scheduling.
What's the other one word? Plan and control. Plan and control. Now, we live in a society, private enterprise. How does private enterprise work? Quickly, just tell me quickly. What do we rely on in private enterprise for private enterprise to work? False.
The economy.
Do you want to live in a communist society? Do you not know the society in which we live?
Monetary incentives?
Yes, yeah, monetary incentives, but you're right, but there's more to the answer, a little bit more than that.
Rational self-interest?
Well, not rational, that's the problem, is that your interest is not in the interest of Siemens. That's the whole problem, is that people make decisions in whose interest. It's called the agent principle. You're the agent, Siemens the principal. When a person, a manager, makes a decision, whose interest do they make it in? Themselves or the principal, Siemens, Lockheed Martin? They make it in the interest of themselves. And because of that, we need control systems. That's why we need control systems. I have an Australian friend, got a large medical business here. We get together for coffee in the weekend, and he always has one story to tell me. His employees. He's just recruited a new UCF graduate. In 10 days, the person has been present for 1.5 days of work. And the person doesn't even call in. John, they got terminated. But he was, and I don't know whether he likes to just harass me because I'm at UCF, but he was going on. And I hear it from other employers. If you don't have a control system, and I told him, I said, well, what are you going to do? I said, get rid of the person. You want some good people? I'll send you some names of good people. I got lots of good people. Now, you got to plan. We're talking about the plan. Now we're going to that third big benefit, control. What does our system rely on? Our system it relies on reward and punishment. And the reward, I forget who said it, the reward takes the interest of some pecuniary, some monetary benefit. That's what the reward is in our system. Okay? Now, is it perfect? It's not perfect. But by Jove, it has served us well. The economists will tell you, private enterprise has been around about 400 years. It's served us well for about 400 years. But we all recognize that it's not perfect. But the other major system, the communist system, it failed miserably after 70 years of an experiment, right? It failed. I'm not making this up, we all know it. It's factual. Now, our system, that's what we must talk about, relies on reward and punishment. The reward is a pecuniary reward. Your firm, Siemens, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Florida Hospital. The pecuniary reward could be bonus, increase in salary, you get better car to drive, you get reimbursed membership of the golf club. That's what we mean by reward, a pecuniary reward. But because people, as this gentleman said, because managers make decisions in whose interests? Themselves, not in the interest of the organization, we have to have control systems in place. Now, our system works very well. Would it work with Mother Teresa?
Probably not.
Probably not, because she's not motivated by what?
Profit.
Money, a pecuniary interest. But you, the fact that you're sitting in this class, is probably evidence that you enjoy some type of reward that takes the form of pecuniary, monetary reward. You wouldn't be here otherwise. And if you're saying I'm not, then you get the hell out of this class, out of the College of Business. You're not suited for it. Okay, let's move on. So the third big benefit of budgeting is control. What do we mean? You set the wording in the chapter, you set the framework. Now the manager makes a decision, what do we need to do? Hold the manager accountable. Got it. Accountable. So there was 3 big benefits of budgeting. 1, communication coordination. 2, a commitment of resources. 3, control. What do we mean by control? It set the framework. So when marketing, here's my marketing manager right here. When she said she's going to sell 25,000 units in May, didn't production rely on that? Didn't materials and labor rely on that? Didn't our cash flow rely on that? Then we're going to do what with her? We're going to hold her accountable for those 25,000 units. And if she comes up short, we're going to, and if she exceeds it, chapters 14 and 15. Chapters 14 and 15 is standard. I know you're probably going to get lost here for a moment. That's standard costing. Take the standard, the budget, and compare it to the actual performance. Okay? See you on Wednesday.